At some point, you gotta like think what you think and feel how you feel, and you gotta stand behind it and stand for it.
You never hear anything bad about Alicia Keys, or do you? Because after what you're about to hear, you might never look at her the same again. From chart-topping anthems to bare-faced beauty campaigns, Alicia has always seemed like the girl with a pure soul and golden vocals. But behind that piano, the tea is boiling hot. See, it all goes back to 2008. At the time, Swizz Beatz was still legally married to Machanda Tafriri. They weren't separated in the traditional sense. He was still living with his wife and their son, and yet Alicia was allegedly spending a lot of time at their home. According to Machanda, Alicia not only inserted herself into their lives, but also developed a close friendship with her before anything romantic went public. Let that sink in. You're trying to fix your marriage, your husband's new music partner becomes your friend, and next thing you know, she's allegedly living under the same roof while your marriage falls apart. Machanda was vocal about this too. She posted an open letter in 2009 where she directly addressed Alicia, calling her out for getting involved with a married man and ignoring private messages that asked her to back off. But Alicia stayed silent. Instead, she kept posting about love and spirituality while Machanda was picking up the pieces of her family. And when Swizz and Alicia finally went public, it wasn't like the drama ended there. Many people saw the timeline and started questioning Alicia's role in the breakup. Did she really manifest her dream man, or did she just wait for another woman's marriage to crumble before stepping in? Even years later, fans haven't forgotten. And while Swizz and Alicia went on to marry and have kids, the way it all started still doesn't sit right with a lot of folks. Because let's be real, when a so-called friend moves into your home and walks out with your husband, it's hard to call that anything but betrayal. And if you thought that was shady, buckle up, because the music industry's secrets are even darker.
I actually had to record it a couple times. The first time I recorded it in LA, and the shit just didn't work. I thought it worked. I thought it sounded good, but he called me and he was like, you think you're gonna be able to do them vocals again? And I was like, what?
All right,
What's wrong with my vocals? My vocals are fresh.
Hold on. Hold on, yeah. I don't know if I would have called you. I would have just kept the vocals.
I'm pretty sure he didn't really want to call me.
Right.
But
let's rewind to one of Alicia's biggest moments, Empire State of Mind with Jay-Z. That song was everywhere. It became the unofficial anthem of New York. But what most people don't know is Alexi wasn't the first choice. Jay-Z originally wanted Mary J. Blige on the track. Mary even performed it live before the official release, but when it came time to finalize it, Jay-Z made a different call. Sources say Jay-Z was very hands-on with the production. He made Alicia re-record her vocals multiple times to match his vision. That level of involvement sparked rumors. People started noticing how close the two were during that period, and whispers of chemistry between them started to spread. It wasn't just about making a hit anymore. It was about who was really pulling the strings. But it doesn't stop there. Industry insiders started floating around stories of Alicia having deeper ties to key power players, especially Jay-Z and legendary music executive Clive Davis. Clive was instrumental in launching Alicia's career. He discovered her, signed her to J Records, and gave her one of the strongest industry pushes we've ever seen. But there were always questions about why Alicia, out of so many talented artists, got that level of support. Online rumors hinted at more than just a mentor-protege relationship. Some people claim that Alicia's rise wasn't just about raw talent. It was about building the right relationships behind the scenes. And while no one has ever confirmed these allegations, the talk hasn't died down. It's part of the reason people started questioning the pure soul image Alicia built. Because when you step back and look at the timeline, from the Swizz Beatz drama to her early career acceleration, things don't look as clean as they once did. The idea that she stayed above the industry's usual mess, yeah, that starts to fall apart when you line up the details, but let's not stop at industry whispers, because one woman went live and burned it all down.
Alicia Keys was there singing Bad.
They did a little touchy.
They did. Ah! That was the first note. Was it her or was it the demon inside of her asking to be let out?
Now, if you've been around long enough, you've definitely heard the name Jaguar Wright. She's not just any artist, she's known for telling it like it is. Jaguar was part of the neo-soul scene back in the early 2000s, working with artists like The Roots and Jay-Z, but in recent years she's become even more known for spilling the kind of industry secrets most people would never dare say out loud. And when it came to Alicia Keys, Jaguar did not hold back. Jaguar accused Alicia of stealing Swizz Beatz from his wife. She called it for home wrecking in one of her most talked about rants. Jaguar claimed Alicia knew exactly what she was doing and didn't care about Mashonda or the family that was falling apart in the process. But that was just the start. Jaguar also brought up a man named Antonio Gordon, a musician and producer who reportedly had a strong working relationship with Alicia in the early days. According to Jaguar, Alicia used him, played him emotionally, and then left him behind once she got the industry backing she needed. Jaguar claimed Antonio was devastated and never recovered from the betrayal. While there's no public record of Antonio telling his side, Jaguar stood by the claim like it was personal. Then came the Clive Davis accusations. Jaguar didn't just say Alicia had support from Clive, she suggested there were personal reasons behind it. She hinted that Clive had favorites in the industry and gave Alicia the push she needed not just because of her talent, but because she fit into a deeper, more strategic plan. Jaguar made it clear. In her eyes, Alicia's career wasn't built on just hard work and vocals, it was also about who was backing her and why. But maybe the wildest part? Jaguar actually claimed she had the power to block Alicia's Grammy chances. She said there was a time she had influence in the right places and that she intentionally made moves to stop Alicia from winning, not because she hated her music but out of spite, because of the way Alicia allegedly treated people on her way to the top. And just when you thought the drama was all behind closed doors, Alicia stepped into a very public spotlight with no makeup and even more content.
And I mean, first of all, you don't wear it so well. Did I say that right? You look absolutely gorgeous. How does it feel though, inside?
Really empowering, actually, really freeing. And you know, I think the thing is, it kind of came from...
In 2016, Alicia made headlines again. But not for her music. This time it was her face, or more accurately, the lack of makeup on it. She started showing up to red carpets, award shows, and TV appearances completely barefaced. No foundation, no eyeliner, nothing. At first, it seemed refreshing. She even wrote an open letter explaining her decision, saying she wanted to free herself from beauty standards and feel authentic in her own skin. She talked about how she'd grown tired of hiding behind makeup, of always having to look camera ready. She said she wanted to be raw and real, to represent something different in an industry built on image. It was marketed as empowerment, especially for women who feel pressured to always look flawless. But the applause didn't last long. Critics started pointing out the contradictions. Makeup artists and fans alike noticed she wasn't always makeup-free. They spotted subtle techniques that suggested the no makeup look was still kind of makeup. People started calling it performative, saying Alicia was selling the image of being natural while still leaning on light cosmetic help to maintain that clean glow. Others said it felt calculated, like she was rebranding. Especially after the Swizz Beatz drama, the rumors, and the industry whispers, going makeup-free might have looked like an attempt to reset her public image. Like she was saying, forget the past, look how pure I am now. And honestly, some fans weren't buying it. The conversation got even deeper. Some women felt the movement was a privilege in disguise. They pointed out that Alicia already had perfect skin, celebrity status, and a full glam team, even when going natural. So while she encouraged other women to embrace their bare faces, it didn't always land the same way for people who couldn't afford weekly facials and personal skincare experts. And then came the global backlash, because Alicia took her message of female empowerment to Saudi Arabia. Now here's where things really got sticky. Alicia Keys ended up at the center of a global controversy when she performed in Saudi Arabia during Formula One weekend. At first glance, it might have seemed like just another celebrity gig, but once people looked deeper, the backlash was instant. Because Saudi Arabia is a country known for its heavy restrictions on women and a long list of human rights issues, and yet there Alicia was, on stage, promoting empowerment, all while performing in a space many felt was the exact opposite of what she stood for. What made it worse? Her appearance at a women's summit that aligned with major events backed by her husband Swizz Beatz agency. Suddenly, critics were calling it a family business deal disguised as activism. People dismissed the connection, especially those who've already questioned Alicia's motivations in the past. Human rights activists quickly jumped in. They accused Alicia of helping Saudi Arabia whitewash its image, a tactic where governments use big celebrities to soften their public image without actually making any meaningful changes. Basically, she was being called out for showing up in a place that silences the very voices she claims to uplift. And it wasn't just about women. LGBTQ+ communities and global rights advocates were furious too. They pointed out that Alicia had spoken publicly about equality, self-love, and human dignity, yet here she was performing in a country where people are still punished for being gay, where women need male permission to make basic life choices, and where dissent is met with censorship or worse. The contradiction was loud. How can you sell messages of empowerment on a stage built by people who silence empower? From the beginning, Alicia Keys has been the definition of woke. That's how most people saw her. She was the girl at the piano, singing about fallen dreams and strength, with cornrows and confidence, and a soft voice that felt like truth. But when the curtain gets pulled back a little, the story starts to change. There's been talk about how Alicia used certain relationships to climb the ladder, from her connection with Clive Davis to the Swizz Beatz situation and even her natural image rebrand. It all starts to look less like coincidence and more like strategy. Don't get it twisted, nobody's questioning the talent. Alicia's musical ability is real, but over time, people started asking, is she playing the industry or playing us? She's praised for being grounded and honest, but she's also been accused of carefully controlling the narrative, saying just enough to stay in the public's good graces while still making powerful business moves behind the scenes. What's your take on this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.